How much longevity it would have as
Well, it was written for the last scene of the life of Brian, and all our characters were headed for crucifixion.
Yes.
So we had to say, well, I said, well, let's end with a song, you know, obviously as you do. And so, but it's very ironic in the film because obviously when you're being crucified, you don't have that much time to look on the bright side left.
No.
So it was irony, but it was used in the Falklands War. And when it was starting to become very serious. Yes, the sailors on the Sheffield, when they were waiting a rescue, sang it on the deck for 3 hours.
And people have really properly embraced it, haven't they?
They have, yes. It's nice. I love it.
Isn't it amazing though? I mean, that's obviously stood the test of time. And next year, Monty Python is 50 next year, and still people are so in love with the material and desperate for anything, you know, Python-esque. Does it still? I'm surprised isn't the right word, but it must be real pride for you and the other Pythons to know that there's still that desire out there.
Yes, I think so. I mean, I think it's totally surprising. It's astounding. Comedy shouldn't last that long. It's 50 years. It's really a long time, you know.
And how did it all? You talk about it in the book, but you sort of had a lucky meeting, didn't you? You eventually went to a tough school. Tell us a little bit about that.
I was at a boarding school, an orphanage, semi-orphanage in Wolverhampton for 12 years. So you get less for murder, but. You know, so that was tough, but then I got to Cambridge.
You found a way, sort of, even at school, you being funny was a benefit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, because it helps you survive. If you laugh at authority, you know, they're telling you one thing, but you're saying another thing. So it's an underground, you know, they beat you and say it was for your own good. And you say, well, why don't I do you good, you know, and I'll beat you.
And in terms of that relationship, was it when you went to, and you met the likes of Terry Jones and you met the others, did you hit it off immediately, and did you know straight away there's a likeness of spirit, of mind, of sense of humour there? Well,
the very odd thing is at Cambridge I auditioned for Bill Oddie and Tim Brooke Taylor, which is very bizarre at my college review. I mean, one Python auditioning for two goodies. And then the first piece of material I did was actually written by John Cleese. So I met him in my second term. That's in 1963.
Wow.
So,
and then how did you get from where you were then to realising that actually you could write, produce, etc., some amazing things together?
Well, Footlights was a club that you learned how to do comedy. So I spent all my time at Cambridge, usually working with Graham Garden to do comedy, and that you learn by doing. So that was a very good experience. And then David Frost pulled us all into television to write for him. So we were professional writers by the age of about 20. It was amazing.
You're saying that you know, we talked about the fact that Python still stood the test of time. Do you think now, if you were all sitting in front of some comedy commissioners somewhere, what would the response be?
I don't know. I mean, the great thing about Python is it's always fun when you sit down together. We have dinners or even business meetings. And even Jonesy was at the last one. He can't speak, but he went, no, no, no. And we all looked at him. It was the first thing he said. And Mike said, actually, when he says no, he means yes.
Oh, right.
So it turned into a Python sketch. It was just hilarious. So.
And how is Terry Jones doing?
Well, I mean, Michael sees him every week. He walks on the heath. He has 24-hour care, and he can't really talk.
He's got dementia? Yes,
he's got dementia, and but it's sort of still nice to see him. You know, we bring him to meetings. He's not allowed to vote. You know, I think that's unfair.
In terms of other things you're working on, people remember Spamalot,
right?
You're working on a film version of Spamalot. So how much work is going into that?
Well, we've been developing it for 2 or 3 years, and now Fox are going to make it in the new year. So I'm very excited by that because we're just casting it at the moment. With sort of, you know, because film actors, you know, we're trying to get some really good big names because that's what Fox want. And I'm very optimistic, really.
Are you optimistic about sort of comedy in the long term as well? Because you talk about where you learnt it and the Footlights and wherever. You know, where are young people able to kind of explore things, do you think, like you were able to do?
I really can't answer that question because I think comedy is a way of looking at life.
Right.
And you don't stop being funny. In fact, that's the nice thing about comedy. You can keep on being funny. It doesn't stop, like you're a pop singer. You kind of a certain age, you've passed your sell-by date. But that's not true of comedy. You can be funny and old. And even dead, as Sir Bruce Forsyth has just proved to us all. Apparently he's going to be on a note. Is he going to be on the 20, 50?
Oh, is he?
Apparently.
Oh, I don't know that.
Well, really?
Thanks
They
very
said
much.
somebody else. He's on the short list.
Okay.
You know.
One of the things that I love your book. I love the book, and one of the things that, you know, because you get a book, and I don't know what everybody else is like, but I immediately go to the photos. You have got some you have met some amazing people over the years, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
I mean, I don't know, where should we start with? David Bowie, for example. Where did you meet him?
I met him in LA, but then we met in the West Indies. He was really funny. That's what people don't understand, and that's why I wrote about him, because they have one view of Bowie, but in fact he laughed all day. And we'd play camp dressers. He said, "Oh, I love that costume." He went, "Do you like it? It goes with my eyes, doesn't it?" You know. So we spent a whole holiday annoying people by talking like that all the time.
Brilliant.
He was really funny. Liked to laugh.
There are some amazing pictures in the book. There's some incredible stories in the book as well. And wish you all the best with that and with Spamalot. So Spamalot, when will we be able to see that? A couple of...
Well, I mean,
next year, do you think?
I mean, usually it takes about a year and a half, so we'll see.
And hopefully some big names in that as well.
Yes.
Excellent.
We shall keep an eye on it. Thank you very much.
Lovely to meet you. Eric's book is very appropriately called Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, and I could not agree more.
It's 8:47. Let's